This is Eureka Math, Module 4, Lesson 11, and I am trying to do my best to get over my own procrastination, and I've started my video a little bit earlier today so that there's still daylight. In case I lose electricity, I still have the light from the sun. Oh, that's thinking, right? Sometimes it takes me a little bit to learn my lesson, so I will do my best to be a little bit more punctual. So today's lesson is Lesson 11, and the objective is to solve and create fraction word problems. Word problems! I know how much you love word problems. They will have addition, subtraction, and multiplication in them. So let's get right to work, okay? Think about all the tools that we've been learning. Tape diagrams and simplifying. So go straight to your Lesson 11 problem set. Write your name on the paper, please. And number 1, let's get right into it. Kim and Courtney share a 16-ounce box of cereal. By the end of the weekend, Kim has eaten 3/8 of the box, and Courtney has eaten 1/4 of the box. What fraction of the box is left? What fraction? They're asking what fraction. So here's our 16. Oh, I'm sorry, that did not go straight, did it? Let's try again. Our 16-ounce box of cereal. Okay, there's my tape diagram. 16 ounces. Now it's not asking for ounces, but I'm going to label it anyway. It's asking for fractions. Okay, so 1/4 was eaten by Courtney. And let's see, 3/8 was eaten by Kim. What fraction of the box is left? Okay, so we need to figure out what fraction of the box is left. Okay, so let's see. 1/4 of 16 ounces equals 16 over 4, which equals 4. Which means that Courtney ate 4 ounces of the 16 ounces. Okay? And Kim had 3/8 of 16, which means she had 3 times 16 over 8, and I want to simplify that right away. Finding my factors, this into 2 and that into 1. That equals 6 over 1, which equals 6 ounces. Okay, so 4 ounces plus 6 ounces equals 10 ounces. And 16 minus 10 is another 6 ounces. So 6 plus 6, no wait, sorry, 8. 8 ounces, right? 4, 6 is 10. Wait a minute, what am I doing wrong? Yes, 6 ounces. I was right the first time. 6 ounces. So 6 plus 6 is 12, plus 4 is 13, 14, 15, 16 ounces. So if this is what was left over, we already know the value of 6 ounces because this one is already 6 ounces. So what's left in fractions would be 3/8, okay? Because they're the same. 3/8 of the cereal box was left. Okay, you have to read these really carefully because you might think, oh, they're asking how many ounces are left, which was 6. You might be thinking, well, how many more did she eat than, how many more did Kim eat than Courtney? and all kinds of things, but you have to read very carefully. What fraction of the box is left? What's the leftover? So that was the leftover, and it was 3/8. And we know it was 3/8 because this was 6 ounces too. So if they're the same, that also has to be 6 ounces. And we can check our work. Let's just check our work here. If this is 3/8 and this is 3/8, right? And this, let's make it a common denominator. 1/4 is the same as 2/8. We would have 2, 5, 6, 7, 8 eighths, which equals 1 box. Okay? Yep. There's lots of different ways I could have done that. I could have actually just called this 1 box. We didn't have to figure out the ounces at all. I did that because I wanted to know. Okay, number 2. Matilda has 20 pints of green paint. She uses 2/5 of it to paint a landscape and 3/10 of it while painting a clover. She decides that for her next painting, she will need 14 pints of green paint. How much more paint will she need to buy? Okay, so we have to figure out what she's used, what's left over from what she's used, and how much more she'll need. So if she started with 20 pints, right? And she used 2/5 of it, so 1/2 of it for landscape, and 3/10 of it would be about here. Right? So 1, 2, 3/10 of it while painting a clover. She decides that for her next painting, she will need 14 pints of paint. So we need to figure out how much is this and how much is this. Okay. So 2/5, oh, you know what, I'm going to erase that. And I'm going to erase those inside lines. We don't really need those. 2/5 was the landscape times 20 pints equals 2 times 20 over 5. And I don't actually need those parentheses. I just put them there because of habit. And I can now simplify that to 4 and this to 1. And if you don't know how I did that, that's something you need to ask me about. And I'm going to do this, and that's 8 over 1 equals 8. So for the landscape, she used 8 pints. Now, how much did she use for the clover? 3/10 times, again, 20 equals 60 over 10. If you don't know how I got there, talk to me. 3 times 20 is 60, which equals 6. And if you don't know how I got there, talk to me, okay? 10 goes into 66 times. So this one is 6 pints. So 6 and 8 together, all of this together, would be 14 pints, which means she still has 6 pints left. Matilda has 20 pints of green paint. She uses 2/5 of it for a landscape and 3/10 of it for a clover. She decides that for her next painting, she will need 14 pints of green paint. Okay, and she has 6. How much more paint will she need to buy? Well, 6 plus what equals 14. That's what she's decided she needs. She has 6, so she's going to have to buy 8, right? 6 plus 8 equals 14. There's our answer. How much more paint will she need to buy? 8 pints. Read these carefully. Think about what you're reading. Jack and Jill and Bill, that's fun to say, Jack and Jill and Bill each carried a 48-ounce bucket full of water down the hill. By the time they reached the bottom, Jack's bucket was only 3/4 full. Jill's was 2/3 full, and Bill's was 1/6 full. How much water did they spill altogether on their way down the hill? So they each started, so I'm going to put Jack and Jill and Bill. They each started with 48 ounces. Assuming they filled it all the way to the tippy top. And by the time they reached the bottom, Jack's bucket was only 3/4 full. Okay. Jill's was 2/3 full. And Bill's was 1/6 full. Ooh, he lost a lot of water. He must have tripped. How much water did they spill altogether on their way down the hill? Spill, it's asking what they spilled, not what they have. It's what they lost. So how much did Jack lost? He lost this part, which is 1/4. Jill lost 1/3. And Bill lost 5/6. Okay, he lost a lot. He must have tripped. So how much water did they spill altogether on their way downhill? So now we need to find out what 1/4 of 48 is. Let me write a little bit smaller, sorry. 1/4 of 48. 1/3 of 48. And 5/6 of 48. Okay? And then we're going to add those all up, and that's going to be our answer. So 1/4 of 48 would be 48 over 4, which equals 12. 1/3 of 48 equals 48 over 3. And now I'm going to do it over here just in case you guys don't remember how to divide 48 by 3. Math facts. It's 1, 3, and I've got 1 left over. And bring down the 8, and now I've got 6 times 3 equals 18. Okay, so 48 over 3 equals 16. And now I've got 5 times 48 over 6. And I think I'm just going to go ahead right here. 48 divided by 6, math facts. What is it, guys? What is it? Okay. That equals 5 times 8. So this is 8. And this is 1 over 1. And 5 times 8 equals 40. So how much did they lose? Now we're going to add 12 plus 16 plus 40. So 12 plus 16 plus 40 equals 40, 50, 68. 68 ounces. They lost a lot. That's more than a whole bucket. 68 ounces is what they lost. There's your answer. Mrs. Diaz makes 5 dozen cookies for her class. 1/9 of her 27 students are absent the day she brings the cookies. 1/9. Oh. Of her 27 students are absent the day she brings the cookies. If she shares the cookies equally among the students who are present, oh, see, you miss school, you miss cookies. How many cookies will each student get? Okay, so she had 27 students. And she said 1/9 were absent. Okay? So what does 1/9 equal? There's 1/9. 9 goes into 27 3 times, so each of these is worth 3. So that means that 3 students were absent. And if 3 students were absent, that means that 24 students were present. Okay, so Mrs. Diaz makes 5 dozen cookies. 1/9 of her 27 students are absent the day she brings the cookies. So that means 3 students were absent. If she shares the cookies equally among the students who are present, how many cookies will each student get? Now you need to know what a dozen is. So 5 dozen equals 5 times 1 dozen. And a dozen equals 12. So it's actually 5 times 12. And 5 times 12 is 60. Math facts. Okay, so she has 60 cookies. Now she has 24 students to eat them. Now it's just a simple division problem. 60 cookies with 24 students. 24 goes into 60 2 times. 2 times 24 is 48, and I'm going to have leftover of 12 24ths. So 2 and 12 24ths. But you can also write 2 and 12 24ths as 2 1/2. Right? 2 1/2. So, how many cookies will each student get? 2 1/2 cookies. Don't forget your labels. Cookies. Good. Next one. Create a story problem about a fish tank for the tape diagram below. Your story must include a fraction. Okay. Well, I think we have a fraction right here. 2/6. And story problem. Let's say a fish tank. My fish tank holds 84 ounces of water. When I clean it, maybe you have a better story than me. I need to remove 2/6 of the water. Okay? How many ounces of the water is remaining, I spelled that wrong, remaining, ing, for the fish. Okay, now that I've created the story problem, I have to solve the story problem. So I've got 84 ounce fish tank, and I need to remove 2/6 of it to clean the fish tank. And how much water is left for the fish to survive in while I'm cleaning the tank? So first of all, I have to figure out what is 1/6. So 84 divided by 6 goes in 1 time, that's 6, and then my remainder is 24. 6 goes into 24 4 times, so there's 14 ounces in each 1/6 of the tank. And if I'm taking out 24 ounces, because 2/6 would be 28. How much am I leaving in? So that's 1, 2, 3, 4. So 14 times 4 would be 16. Carry the 1, 4, 56 ounces. So what's the answer to my problem? How many ounces of the water is remaining for the fish? 56 ounces. If you have a better story problem, I would love to hear it. Okay, after you finish your story problems on this page, please make a copy of it and upload it to Google Classroom. Then do your exit ticket. It's asking you to use a tape diagram. I know some of you are big fans of equations instead of tape diagrams, but please show this problem with a tape diagram. That's it. Use tape diagram to solve. It's not asking you to create a story problem? We're going to add that. Create a story problem for this equation and then solve. Okay, there, that's so much better. Sorry to have to do that to you. You guys thought you were going to get out easy, but you are not. Create a story problem for this equation and then solve. Good. Watch this video. Create a story problem. Then, after you're done with that, you can finish your lesson 11 homework. Unless you feel like super stuck and you want to do it in class with us, then we will go through it together. But please read through it and make sure that you have figured out what your questions are before class. Good job. Thank you very much.